Scapholunate ligament instability is not a single ligament problem, but involves multiple ligaments, which results in progressive arthritis of the wrist. It is well known that the scaphoid flexion and dorsal protrusion of the proximal pole is more important than scapholunate gap. This video shows scapholunate instability. As you can see in this video, I would say it's grade 3, but it frequently combined with the lunotriquetral instability in the same patient, as you can see in this video. And dorsal intercarpal ligament is lax and attenuated as well. I think the dorsal portion of scapholunate, dorsal portion of scapholunate interosseous ligament is only the pivot point or gearbox for scaphoid rotation. So we need to focus more on the extrinsic ligaments, the engine, to actively extend the scaphoid, which is, in my opinion, is the triquetrum. Not only supinate and extend, but the triquetrum also moves vertically for more than 2 millimeters during the ulnar deviation, which may be a key to extend the scaphoid. It was presented by Garcia Elias long time ago. To make the connection between scaphoid and triquetrum, I decided to focus on tightening dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament, an orange ligament in this figure, which was described by Dr. Haggard. Viewing from the metacarpal ulnar poro, dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament is a discrete structure from the dorsal intercarpal ligament, and it is thicker and stronger, which may be more important for intercarpal stability. As Dr. Matherlin Hale described about the dorsal capsular ligamentous repair technique, DCSS plays an important role to connect the DIC and scapholunate interosseous ligament. However, I found several cases who had avulsed dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament from the triquetrum, but relatively intact DCSS, as you can see in this video. To design the procedure, the fixation should be strong enough to start early range of motion by non-observable suture and suture tape and anchors, and combined procedures such as TFCC repair should be possible with via wrist arthroscopy. Arthroscope itself has many advantages to reduce carpal deformities. According to Mark Garcia Elias, the scaphoid is extended and supinated, and lunate can be radially translocated by axial traction alone. Once the carpal bone was reduced with axial traction, I decided to put a non-observable suture alongside the dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament via STT and MCU poro to fix the suture to the scaphoid and triquetrum with 2 anchors. Here are the example of passing suture tape with microsuture lasso. Viewing from the MCU poro, routine synovectomy and evaluation of the dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament and scapholunate interval was done via STT poro. Firstly, drill hole was made with a blunt tip needle, and K-wire was introduced through the needle. Cannulated drill bell was used to enlarge the tunnel. After changing the viewing poro, DST ligament status and lunotriquetral interval was also evaluated. Triquetral drill hole was made with the same manner. Then suture lasso was introduced from the metacarpal ulnar poro and tried to grab a portion of dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament. And finally, suture anchor were placed in the scaphoid and triquetrum to tighten up the suture tape. As you can see, preoperatively, lunar-tricutal joint was unstable in this video, but it was stabilized after dorsal scaphotriquetral suture fixation. This is the clinical example of this procedure. At the final follow-up, you can see the scaphoid is extended and supinated so that the distal portion of the scaphoid does not contact with radial styloid. In the cleansed fist view, the scapholunate gap seems decreased in the final follow-up radiographs. Dorsal scapholunate gap became parallel in this post-op radiographs. Combined TFCC fovea repair and ulnar shortening were performed with this procedure. The operation time was less than 2 hours. These are the clinical results of this procedure. Metacarpal clunk have been disappeared. As you can see in this metacarpal clunk was disappeared after 2 weeks after TFCC fovea repair and dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament repair in this patient. So I think this procedure can be indicated for the EWAS stage 3B and C instability. Capsular shrinkage should be just fine for the earlier stages, and volar reconstruction might be needed for the stage 4 and 5. In case of stage 4 and 5, I added long radiolunate ligament repair combined with dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament repair to prevent unaddressed location of the lunate. Here is the arthroscopic finding after this procedure. These radiographs are showing extension and supination of the scaphoid, and this decreased the scapholunate gap after this procedure. So in summary, I would like to introduce arthroscopic dorsal scaphotriquetral ligament repair for dynamic scapholunate and lunar triquetral instability. I've been doing this for more than 50 patients since early 2020, and the short-term results are very promising. Thanks for your attention.